Yes, water. I want water for my birthday. Sound weird, isn't it? Let me explain. Let me start with a story here. About a month ago, just like a typical day of filming work, I was driving, I wanted to listen to a podcast, and this podcast called The Allergist became my favorite recently, and I picked this episode called Suffering Part 1 because I wanted to listen to about staying positive, staying mentally healthy, how to get out of suffering, all that. And little did I know, I was in the middle of traffic, driving in a highway, just like crying and weeping, listening to the story in the podcast. The story is shared by Scott Harrison. He's the founder of Charity Water, and the story goes like this.
Ethiopia, I'd mentioned, I've been there so many times, 27 times now. And a few trips back, I was in this $3 a night hotel room. And the hotel owner, walks out of the kitchen, recognizes our group and says, you guys are doing great work here in the region. Let me tell you a story. And he sits down and says, I come from a rural village. And in my village, years ago when I was growing up, there was this woman that used to walk 8 hours every day with a heavy clay pot on her back. And she would walk to dirty water. And he said one day, at the end of her journey, she comes back into our village, and before she reaches her house, she slips and she falls. And her clay pot breaks, and all the water spills out into the ground. And he said, she didn't go back and get more water, she hung herself from a tree in my village. And he kind of let that sit with our group, and then we walked back into the kitchen. I remember looking at, our friends at the time saying, there's no way that story can be true. Tell the Westerners a shocking story. And it just nagged at me. And I sent our partners to his village, and they verified that this woman, Ledikiros Hailu, had lived there and had indeed committed suicide. And I asked my wife for a pass and said, I need to go and live in this village. I need to walk in her footsteps. I need to see the tree. And I didn't know this until I lived there, but she was 13 at the time of her death. She was a little girl. I asked her friend, her name was Yeshereg. I said, why do you think your friend didn't go back? Why not just get water the next day? Surely accidents happen. And she said, it would have been the shame. There would have been too much. Because she knew that she broke this valuable asset of the family, the clay pot, and that her family would go without water for dinner. And that her mom was waiting for that water that she had walked all day for to cook dinner. And she had let her family down because of her carelessness and her misstep. And that was too much to face them.
Hearing about the burden that 13 years old girl has to carry, the responsibilities that she had to face, too much that she had to decide to kill herself. First, the story made me think about what was the stress was I getting? What was I trying to get out of this podcast? What suffering was I actually having? And I kept listening to the podcast and it felt more extreme. How the half of the world don't even have electricity. 2.3 billion people don't even have proper sanitization of water. It's pretty overwhelming, and I feel more helpless and felt more mad about injustice, this unfairness. And at this point, you might be asking, Philip, what's the point of this video? Like, we all know that. We all know that the world is broken. The poverty, global issue, people suffering, what's happening around the world. What's your point? Are you just throwing a pity party that the world is so broken? Philip is trying to look like a nice person, trying to be like a giveaway YouTuber. Okay, we get it, you're a nice person, and we are not. What are you trying to say? Friends and I, we often talk about how the world is so broken. The human nature, we're so sinful, we're so selfish. And you and I, we know as we grow, we face so much injustice and feel unfairness. We can't even make a dent in the system. We can't even make any impact. And I say, don't be discouraged, because even if you're feeling so small and if you were wanting to make an impact on the world, we could start that by doing our best in our life, starting ourselves, living our daily life to the fullest. loving others, know how to be loved. You know, that will eventually lead towards having compassion to your friends, family, community, and that will eventually reach out to the world. So, doing my best was get my lazy ass to make this video and finish this video that I didn't want to make, which is encouraging you guys to donate and myself donating to the charity water. Oh, this is not this is not sponsored video. I just started YouTube, and at the end of the podcast episode, they talked about how people are giving up their birthday and then they rather ask their family and friends to do a donation for their birthday present. And I wanted to do that as well. As I turn 24 this year, which is tomorrow, my birthday is tomorrow, I wanted to donate $240 because I turned 24. Yeah, I wanted to achieve that. I wanted to start by myself donating to charity water. It could be other platform or other charity as well. I wanted to start practicing on giving because it challenges my selfishness, and I wanted to start practicing on that. I'm gonna leave the link down below. I encourage you guys to actually send me the birthday gift with the donation. Actually, don't send me the bottle of water, and I want you to join me and actually donate water. This is purely out of my heart, and I wanted to try just sharing the information and sharing the story, and try to share the compassion with my friends, family, and then people who will be watching this. And simply just finishing this video because I had this idea, burning desire, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. That's it. Thanks for listening. We can start changing the world by simply listening to others. So thank you. Thanks for doing that. And if you haven't subscribed, I suggest you subscribing, doing the normal thing, like and subscribe. Anyway, thank you so much. Let's see what we can do together. Happy birthday to myself, and let's make the world a better place.